Hi, this is Kate Bergeron with the Branch Herald, and I am going to do something a little bit different than I've ever done before. I went to the budget town hall last night. There was a great turnout there, but at 6 o'clock on Tuesday, it's the same people who can always attend on 6 o'clock on a Tuesday evening, and I know there's a lot of people who don't and can't attend those times. But that doesn't mean that you don't care and aren't interested about what is happening. The city created this big trifold with a lot of information in it to try to give residents and property owners an idea of what is happening with the budget. The Dallas County Appraisal District has said that the average price of a home in Farmers Branch is now over $410,000. To give you a little bit of a reference point, this is last year's trifold, and it says that the average home price, I saw it, was $388,000, I believe. Oh, $380,000. So what that means is that for whatever that average home is, the average value of it increased by $30,000, even though the property owner did nothing to improve it. So taxes would be going up if the tax rate wasn't brought down. And even with the tax rate being brought down, I think our taxes are still going up just because the values have risen so high. Both of these have this really nifty little map in there about the dollar distribution. CFBISD, the school district, receives the biggest bite of our tax dollars for property taxes. This year, it will be 48%. Last year, I believe it was a little bit over 50%. It was 51% last year. Farmers Branch this year, when it makes up 26.31% of the property taxes. Last year, it made up 25.2%. And then Dallas County, Parkland Hospital, and the Dallas Community College system, now known as Dallas College, receives the rest of your property taxes. Farmers Branch City Council has fought hard. It's been a long budgeting season. It's always a long budgeting season, but it's been a long budgeting season as they have tried to figure out how to make taxes more affordable. Since it feels like everybody is tightening their belts, cutting things out of their budgets, the city, some people in the city feel like we also need to on the city level. And so there were a lot of discussions, especially in July. Highly recommend going and looking at that budget retreat if you really want to see what was discussed and how that worked. That's on the city website. But they were really trying to keep taxes affordable for those who struggle with affording their taxes. To give a little benefit, I'm going to go back to the 2024-25 budget. By the way, the 24-25 budget starts October 1st. We have a fiscal year that starts October 1st. City Council needs to approve the budget at the September 17th meeting. There will be a public hearing on September 10th for residents to put in their 2 cents toward it. There was a really nice graph, maybe it was on the other one, about how it affects seniors. I don't see it now. And I just dropped the other one. Sorry about this. I told you, it's a whole new thing. You guys get to see me not totally comfortable in front of the camera. I had really looked at this. I thought I knew it, and now when I'm looking at it, I don't see it, what I'm looking for. Oh, you know what? This says right here, average home value in Farmers Branch is not 411 or 10,000. Sorry, I got that number wrong. It's 441,000. That's an increase of $60,000 in value, not 30,000. So that alone increases property taxes a lot. I'm still looking to compare what the average homeowner pays versus someone with the senior or disabled benefit. They get an extra $100,000 on their taxes credited that they don't have to pay taxes on. That's in addition to the homestead. And I don't see it. I'm sorry. It's here somewhere. I highly recommend looking at this. This one will be at City Hall, I'm sure. And this one I found, there's only a few copies left since it's last year's in the city secretary's office. But where does the budget go to? Oh, this was an interesting number. This year's total budget is $167,554,948. Last year, which we are still in, they were looking at combined budget of, goes right here, $186,811,227. So they pulled off almost $20 million out of the annual budget to get it to where it is this year. And where does it go? Actually, that was the total budget. There's also a general fund revenue budget that's $88 million. And that's where the money comes from. That's the property taxes, licenses, permits, fines, interest, rents, contributions, charges for services, and sales tax. This total budget, 53% of it comes from here. There's 4 funds for hotel, motel fund, special revenue fund, economic development, revenue stabilization. There's a capital improvement projects fund. There's a debt service fund. And then there's 2 funds for water and sewer and stormwater. And then how is it spent? And this is the general fund. This is what everybody has been talking about. It's the $88 million. 44% of it goes to public safety. 26% of it goes to general government, and that includes administration, communications, economic development, planning, human resources, finance, innovation and technology, legal, animal services, community services, code enforcement, customer success. 17% of it goes to parks and recreation. 13% goes to public works, which includes street maintenance, sustainability, and solid waste. That is the landfill, which that conversation has been happening as part of the budget process, but we are going to start being assessed a $5 per month for property owners or $2.50 for seniors starting in October. I'll be working on that article soon. And then public safety, like I said, out of that 88 million, public safety gets 39 million, and that is police, fire, EMS, court services, detention services, and investigative services. So that's a big bulk of where our money goes. To get these cuts, they had to do some budget reductions. It wasn't a fun or pretty process. The June and July meetings for the city council were messy, to say the least. And honestly, there's going to be a lot of people who aren't happy about these. but think about the families who are struggling to pay their property taxes. So we need to think about that as well. That is also heavily on the minds of our city council members. And they also needed to find out how much it costs to run a city. I think they now know that. They have reduced, this is a reduction from Parks and Recreation. They are going to continue to pay water for the community garden. We are keeping the community garden, but the city is not going to be sponsoring it anymore. So city services for workers and maintenance and supplies are being phased out, and community garden volunteers are going to have to figure out how to fund that. And it sounds like the city staff on the Parks and Rec department are going to help with that transition. There are a lot of events that have gotten cut. It looks on this, it looks like there are 2 family night events, 2 Bark Park events. The Denton Drive live concert series, my understanding is that is changing, not going away completely, but changing. And then Halloween in the park, that saved the city over $150,000. They're reducing facility hours at the Parks and Rec. The indoor pool will have 14 fewer hours, the rec center 9 fewer hours, the Branch Connection 8 fewer hours, the library 4 fewer hours, and that's reflected in a 10% contract reduction in the library services, which has its own company that the city outsources that. Those reduced hours on staffing saved $76,000. Other areas that are being cut, the Citizens Collection Center is being closed. That saves the city almost $83,000. The 10% reduction in the library contract saves the city almost $85,000. Reduction in trail projects, that's $100,000. I'm not totally sure what that entails. There is a reduced annual allocation to the parks master plan, eliminating 1 human resources position for the city is $56,000. Eliminating the Branch Connection bus saves $120,000. Elimination of the mosquito monitoring and spraying saves $50,000. Give me a second, I'll be right back on that one. That one gave me a gut check at first. And then reduction of contract services is $60,000. So altogether, the city is saving $696 in savings. So again, that's almost $1 million with these cuts that the city is making. Back to the mosquito monitoring and spraying programs. Gut check on that one. West Nile virus is a problem. Heartworms in our dogs is a problem. We've all heard of Zika. There's a lot of mosquito-borne diseases that we don't want. So when I saw mosquito spraying, my first reaction was, uh-oh, how is this going to affect public health? My second reaction was, how effective is mosquito spraying? My third response was, well, maybe that'll help the bees. So with all of that in mind, I asked Danielle Summers, who's community services manager for the city, and talked to Ben Williamson, the city manager. Ben did emergency services for 7 years as he made his way up to city manager for other cities, and he knew a lot about this mosquito monitoring and spraying process. So mosquito monitoring is not going to go away. That is through the county. They are still going to monitor for mosquitoes. The city, instead of spraying after there has been mosquitoes with West Nile detected, their plan is to start, or maybe increase would be the better word, because I believe they've already started this, by using the BT bacteria that kills mosquito larvae and putting those BT dunks and granules in standing water on public property. they would really like us as residents to take care of standing water on our property as well. Ben said that irrigation systems, gutters, tires, containers sitting on private property are the main cause of the mosquitoes this time of year, which is when we get the West Nile virus issues. So Danielle said that they are already driving around looking for standing water, and when they see standing water, they're putting dunks in it. She said they've been treating the creeks where the water stagnates this time of year to make sure that they're putting dunks in there to make sure that mosquitoes aren't breeding in those areas. They're really working hard on this. I haven't done any research on it. I will do more research in the spring to get us going when the season starts in April and May, so that way we as residents can be doing what is needed to keep mosquito prevention down. But it sounds like the city staff has done a good bit of research on this, and that they aren't taking anything away necessarily other than a reduction in fees for the mosquito spraying, but they may actually be doing the better option in preventing the mosquitoes from breeding in the first place. So I did look at that. I hope this information was helpful. I'm not planning to write much more about the budget story, at least not for this week with the town hall. I got some great pictures. Planning to do a story next spring about mosquito prevention, because I think none of us like mosquitoes. At least we don't like being bitten by mosquitoes. I think we like things like frogs and toads and dragonflies, but we don't like being bitten by mosquitoes, and we certainly don't like getting sick from it. Pick this up from the city, read it. I'm sure the city's going to be putting out more information, so all of us who can't attend meetings can see what is happening with the budget. Like I said, I believe the public hearing is on the September 10th city council meeting, and the city council will be voting to approve the budget on September 17th. Contact your city council member, representative, and let them know what you think. And honestly, here's my little opinion, which I probably shouldn't put in here, but I am anyway. I would think that we can come up with some creative solutions as private citizens. It may involve some policy change on the part of the city. I would love to see and write stories about what citizens are doing to make up some of these places where the city has had to cut back, because I think that that's a possibility. Have a great night, and I'll talk to you again. This is Kate Bergeron from the Branch Herald.